I'd been working for old man Jeffers on the Tip Top Ranch for a couple of months. The old man was one of those hard-riding kind, so I was kind of happy at being sent to town. Usually, though, I was a little town shy. Towns generally brought me trouble. I guess that's what's wrong with having a reputation. Always some young gun just itching to sharpen his spurs on your hide.
You ain't as gun shy as you used to be.
You belong back in that jail.
Now, Granny, you know there ain't no jail gonna hold me. And Sheriff Hanson, he ain't gonna ever put me back there again either.
I wouldn't be surprised, but you're right, Wes. I wouldn't be surprised to see you lying in the dirt with a bullet in you first.
We all gotta go sooner or later. And if my time was as close as yours, I wouldn't be talking about dying either.
Your time may be closer than you think, Wes. Maybe even closer than mine.
Don't talk to me like that. Now, you've got to stop talking to me like that.
Wes! Hey, Wes! Whoa. Wes, you know who that man was you took a shot at?
No, I don't know, and I don't care.
Well, listen, it was Vint Bonner. Well, do you hear me? The six-shooter.
You sure?
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, what if it was?
Well, aren't you glad to hear it? Here's your chance to do all those things you were talking about the other day. Remember?
I remember.
Remember Joe Hayes was talking about Bonner, and you said you could teach him a thing or two about slapping leather? Well, now's your chance to do it, Wes.
You talk too much.
You'll be talking longer than he will.
Well, there you are, Vint. How's this? Tip Top Ranch, property of Rex Jeffers. Keep out. This means you.
Well, that keep out part sounds a little polite. You better change that to trespassers will be shot on sight. Signed, Rex Jeffers.
I guess he means it.
He means it. He's got the biggest ranch in the state, and he wants everybody to know it. I guess he figures putting these every quarter mile or so will do the trick.
No doubt Jeffers will want his name printed in the biggest size type I've got, too.
I think he'd like it to stand out real plain.
Yeah, all right, I'll print them up, all 1,000 of them. But it's going to cost him $6.40.
$6.40?
Yeah, paper's expensive, Vint. Besides, it's going to take me darn near the rest of the day. Well, that's my price, $6.40.
Well, you gotta pay, you gotta pay. Finish him up as soon as you can, Pete.
All right, Vint. Well, Vint, you heard what happened to Lockwood, hadn't you?
No. What happened to Lockwood?
We got us a brand new gunfighter.
Gunfighter, huh?
Yes. Young and mean. Fast, too. Looks like Wes Singer is out to set some kind of a new record.
Wes Singer. That his name?
Yeah, can't be no more than 19. 20 at the most.
Most of them start young.
And they don't live to be very old, either. But they can cause a lot of trouble in a short space of time.
Trouble? What do you mean?
2 killings in less than a month.
2 killings?
Charlie Barker was the first. Folks was inclined to think it was a lucky draw. Until Wes went up against Todd Apple. Wes put a bullet right in the middle of Todd's forehead before Todd's gun ever cleared his pants. After that, folks weren't inclined to think it was just a lucky draw.
Well, with all this shooting and killing, I guess the sheriff is doing a little thinking.
Ben Hanson's thinking all right, but Ben's getting a little bit old.
What's he doing about it?
Oh, he went out to Vess all right, but there isn't much he could do. Wes had witnesses to the first shooting, and the jury turned him loose after 10 days in jail on the second.
Where is he now?
And the best the sheriff could do is order him to stay out of town. The boy's now up on his grandma's place, a little way east. It's the only kin he's got, this old Miss Singer.
Well, how long do you think it'll take to get these ready?
Yeah, take a few hours, sometime in late afternoon.
I'll be back.
All right. Oh, Vint. Of course, if it comes to a showdown between the sheriff and Wes, well, like I said, the sheriff ain't as young as he used to be.
Hello, Sheriff.
Vint. Vint, how you been?
Good, just fine.
Oh, doggone. I was just sitting there thinking over a couple of things.
Well, a man's got a right to think once in a while.
Now, you know I was asleep, sound as the dead.
Guess it's that time of day.
Heard you was working over at the Tip Top. I wondered when you was coming to town.
Yeah, you know old man Jeffers. He likes to keep things and people jumping.
Doggone, it's good to see you. What brings you to Lockwood?
Jeffers wanted some no trespassing signs printed up, so he sent me in to get them. I understand you got yourself a little problem.
Problem? Who you been talking to?
You know Pete Drum.
Yeah, I know Pete Drum. I suppose he's been running off at the mouth about Wes Singer.
Well, he told me something about him.
How long are you going to be in town?
Just long enough to pick up my posters. Why?
Oh, you know these young blowhards. Boasting to their pals and how they can out-trigger any man in the state. Your name was mentioned. This young Singer said he could even teach you a few tricks.
I see.
I want you to leave town.
Wait a minute, Ben. Just because...
You're a mighty tempting target. You're the six-shooter, ain't you? Any gunfighter put a bullet in you, have a real claim to fame.
That doesn't make any sense, Ben. This youngster's got no cause to pick a fight with me. It's stupid.
They're all stupid. Gunslingers. Most of them young kids like this Singer. The idea of getting themselves killed never enters their head. If they're dead, they wouldn't be gunslingers.
Well, I'm not going to be here long, but I'll have to wait for those posters. Can you imagine what would happen if I turned up empty-handed?
I laid down the law to this kid. I can handle him.
Sure you can. Sure you can. I'll get on over to the hotel and get myself cleaned up.
Now, you drop by and see me before you leave.
I'll do that.
Bonner! Come on out, Bonner!
Wes, I told you to keep out of my town.
Stay out of my way, old man. Came in to talk to Mr. Bonner.
Go ahead. Talk.
You're the one they call a six-shooter, huh? Thought I'd come into town and take a look at you. Can't help but say I'm a little bit disappointed.
Wes, I told you.
What are your plans now?
What do you think you're doing?
Same thing as you're doing.
It's a shotgun. What's wrong with the six-shooter? If that thing went off.
You got the idea. Even if you got off the first shot, which is just possible, I'd still blow a hole in you big enough to put my arm through. At this distance, I couldn't miss.
You're loco, Bonner. We'd both be dead.
Yeah. Well?
You just can't expect a man to commit suicide.
That's up to you. I'm waiting.
This isn't the way you're supposed to do it. It just isn't fair.
Now you do what I say. Put that gun away. Get on your horse and get out of town.
I'll go. I'm coming back when you ain't got that cannon. Listen to me, everybody. I'm coming back here at 4 o'clock. And if Bonner there just ain't a bunch of hot air, he's gonna have to use his six-shooter. Maybe you'd rather not, Mr. Bonner. Maybe that reputation of yours ain't worth a hill of beans.
I don't know, boy. I never figured out what a hill of beans is worth. My name's Bonner, ma'am. You want to see me?
Would you mind sitting down, Mr. Bonner? I'd like to talk to you for a minute or so if you have the time.
Any time I can't spare a minute to talk to an attractive lady, I'll quit.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner. Thank you kindly.
A pleasure.
I wanted to talk to you about my grandson. I think you've already run into him.
Oh. Yes, I've run into him.
Then you know what he aims to do this afternoon. You know why he's coming into town.
I heard what he said.
He means it, Mr. Bonner. He means to kill you.
It wouldn't worry Miss Singer. Sheriff Hanson will be waiting for him. If he starts anything, likely as not, he'll end up in jail.
Jail. There isn't any jail can hold Wes anymore. And Ben Hanson won't be able to arrest him either. He'll shoot him down without batting an eye.
Let me get this straight. I thought it was your grandson you were worried about.
Worried about Wes? No. I'm worried about all the men he's going to kill if somebody doesn't stop him. Men like Charlie Barker and Todd Apple. Ben Hanson, he'll be next. I've known Ben for over 25 years. He's a fine man, and he's made a fine sheriff. And he deserves better than to be murdered by a gun-worshipping whelp without a bone of conscience or feeling in his whole body.
Exactly what is it you want me to do, Miss Singer?
I want you to kill him, Mr. Bonner. I want you to kill Wes. I want you to shoot him down like you'd shoot a mad dog. You're the man they call the six-shooter. You're the only one who'd stand a chance against him. Why, I've watched that boy hour after hour, standing out behind the barn, practicing with those guns of his, until I thought I'd go out of my mind with the horror and the shame of it. He never cared for anything else, nothing but guns, since he was old enough to pull a trigger.
Sheriff Hanson's the law.
Law? What kind of law is it that allowed Wes to go free after his other killings, that turned him loose to kill again? Maybe if his ma and pa had been here to raise him, maybe that's what the boy needed. Someone to do the things for him that a boy needs done. I tried my best.
I'm sure you did.
He'll be killed. Sooner or later, somebody will kill him. Somebody will have to kill him. That's why I'm asking you to do it now. Today. Before the stain of anybody else's blood is on his hands.
I'm sorry, Miss Singer. I can't do that. I'm not a killing man. It was a little after 3 o'clock. There was a kind of stillness in the air, like on a hot summer day just before a thunderstorm. Just enough heat to keep everybody out of sight behind shutters. Later on, it would come alive, full of people, their noise, their activity, their need for excitement. But that would be later. Now the town was practically empty. Nobody in the stores, nobody on the streets.
Hey, Wes?
Yeah?
You, really intend to let him go for his gun first?
That's the only way to make him stand up and fight.
He was pretty fast, even with that shotgun.
Anyone can pull a shotgun off of a wall.
He was still pretty fast about it.
He ain't the only one that's fast.
Oh, we know you, Wes. We sure know you. After all, we seen you with Todd Apple and Charlie Barker. Of course, Todd and Charlie.
What about Todd and Charlie?
Well, nothing, Wes, nothing. Well, they were good, but they, weren't in the class with a 6-shooter. Wouldn't you say so yourself, Wes?
Shut up.
Oh, now, Wes, I know you're not afraid of getting killed, but...
Shut up and get up on your horse.
Yeah, sure, Wes. Well, you know me, Wes. Like you said, I talk too much.
Got my posters ready?
Yep. And I guess you're all set leaving town. I put the print on those posters big enough for Lincoln's assassination. It ought to satisfy Rex Jeffers.
$6.40 is still a lot of money. All I wanted to do was to get out of Lockwood and back to the ranch. Then I saw Ben Hanson standing alone in the street.
Get back on your horse, Vint. Singer will be here any minute, and I want you out of the way until I finish with him.
What do you mean, Ben?
I told him if he ever came back to Lockwood, he'd have to answer to me.
You gonna shoot it out with him?
If I have to.
You sure you can handle him, Ben?
Of course I'm sure. No, Vint. I'm not sure at all. He's young. He's awful fast.
That's what Pete said.
But you see, I gotta try. If it turns out I still ain't fast enough, well, I was bound to meet my match someday. Not many sheriffs have lasted as long as I have. 25 years. That's practically a record hereabouts.
Listen, Ben. It's me he's gunning for, not you.
That ain't the point, and you know it. I'm the sheriff here in Lockwood. Now you ride out of town.
It ain't no use, Vint. I just can't step back and let you take him on first. Folks around here'd never pay me any heed afterward. They'd say I talked big to Wes, but it was your gun he listened to. I'm through arguing with you. Now you get on your horse and move on out of town.
All right, Ben. At least I didn't have to kill him. Maybe the boy could learn to live without a gun.